everybody, we're gonna make some detergent. Hey. Hello, Facebook. Ellie and I are going to make up a quick batch of laundry detergent, so we thought we would share that with everybody. When I tell people that I make laundry detergent, I get some interesting looks, and I know that it sounds a little foreign to some people to make laundry detergent, but I just want to show you how easy it is. Also, it's really cheap, and you can feel safe knowing that you're washing your own clothes and your kids' clothes with things that are not going to harm their skin or their lungs when they're breathing it in. So we've just come back from a weekend away, and I have a couple of loads of laundry to do, and much to my dismay, we had no detergent left. And I'm gonna be honest, sometimes when I run out, I will just squeeze a little bit of Castile soap into the place where you put your detergent in a pinch, but it's really not the cheapest route to go, so I'm going to do myself a favor and make up some detergent. So this container that you see here, it's got, I think you can see, it's got a spout on the bottom. So it's like one of those like mason jar style containers that you can get at places like HomeSense or Winners that you would, use outside in the summer for a barbecue or something like that. So I just happened to randomly find it. I had been looking for quite some time for one and sort of put it out there that I was looking for one, and it was poof before my eyes one day when I was at HomeSense. So this container, I've got it filled, I don't know, maybe like 1.5 to 2 inches from the top, and that is 6 liters of hot water. The recipe that I've posted and that I'll post again under here, it calls for 7 liters of water, so I'm doing a little bit less than what the recipe calls for, but that's what fits my container. Your other option, if you don't have a container like this, is to mix it all up in a big bucket of some sort. You can get them at Home Depot or anything like that, like the paint buckets that you can, use a big stick or a big spoon to mix it up in. But at any rate, this is what I use. So this is my hot water that I've got already poured in my container, and I've just got measured out my salt and my baking soda. So it's 1/3 cup of coarse salt, and this is what I use, just like whatever random coarse sea salt that I had on hand. My cup of baking soda, and I'll add those 2 in first, but what I'm going to do before I add them in is I'm going to put my essential oil directly on top of the baking soda, just so it's got something to cling on to as it goes in. I'm choosing wild orange today because I need the pick-me-up smell. We had a little bit of sun here and it's a little bit brighter than it has been, but I would like the pick-me-up. So the recipe calls for about 20 drops of essential oil. You can do a combination of different oils that you like. I'm just using wild orange because I like the scent of it. On Guard is one, that's another nice one to use. Lemon, any kind of citrus oil. No, you can't have that because it's hot. Purify, people really enjoy using, but the possibilities are really endless. So 20 drops in combination of whatever you're using. I'm just gonna do straight up wild orange. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So just while I'm doing this, this is a 15 ml bottle, so it has 250 drops in it, and I've just used 20. So just to give you an idea of how far this will go, okay? The smaller bottles, the 5 ml bottles, have 85 drops. So that's my cup of baking soda with my essential oil in it, and I'm just gonna try not to dump it all over my countertop. Okay, this is 1/3 cup of coarse salt, coarse sea salt. Okay, and you're just gonna want to stir that around to get the baking soda and the salt melted in there, so it's not just settling at the bottom. Okay. I won't bore you to watch me stirring it for a few minutes, but give it a couple minutes to get everything nice and dissolved. It doesn't take very long. And then I'm going to add in 1 cup of Castile soap. This is the Dr. Bronner's unscented soap, so it says baby unscented, which is probably quite different than traditional baby products that are fragranced with, you know, that baby powder scent. This is completely unscented. And this rates on the EWG website and Think Dirty as a 0 in terms of its ingredients and the toxicity of them. Okay, so this is 1 cup of Castile soap. So you're gonna notice once your stuff is dissolved at the bottom and you've added in your soap, you're going to see, I can tell on this one, you wouldn't be able to tell with all essential oils, but the oil, some of it is floating at the top. Yeah. And obviously once the Castile soap goes in, it gets a nice cloudy color. So before you go to use it each time, you're going to want to be able to make sure that you can either stir or shake it. This is light enough for me that, sorry, I'm just gonna get the lid. This is light enough for me that I can give it a quick sort of shake like this before I use it, just to make sure that it's the soap isn't settled at the top and the essential oil's not settled at the top. But if you have a really large container that you've made it in, like a big you know, plastic bucket or a big jug, you can portion it out into smaller containers that you're able to shake before you use it. This one has a spout at the bottom. If you have a container with a spout, one thing that I've noticed is sometimes it'll just be a little bit slow to come out, but if it's got a lid on top, open the lid up to let a little bit of air out when you're going to use the spout to pour it out, and it'll pour out really quickly. You know, alternatively, you can just take the lid off and scoop it out that way from on top of your washing machine, or just pour it into a measuring cup. So I've got a measuring cup, a 1/2 cup measuring cup that just sits on top of my my washing machine, and I can just portion it out that way. I use about a 1/2 cup per load. If I've got a load that's really bad, I'll put a little bit more, like 3/4 or a full cup. But it's amazing and super cheap, chemical free. And as you saw, I just made it in, you know, a couple of minutes with a baby here beside me. So no excuses that you can't make it, because it's very easy. I'll post the recipe below, and hope you guys try it out and let me know what you think. Okay, have a good day.